Hey, welcome back. Uriel Zahriel here. Please, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Welcome back to Dark Sorcery. Leave a comment down below. Let me know how you're liking things. If you have any suggestions, if you have any recommendations for maybe a possible upcoming video, if you're a subject matter you would like me to maybe discuss. I know I've been kind of infrequently with some of my videos. There's a lot going on in society that I've been rather kind of choosing to be quiet. And it's kind of draining, to be honest. But one common topic that keeps coming up is so many people, it seems like with everything that's going on, there's a very huge influx with people inquiring. People want to know and are seeking knowledge. This is awesome. But at the same time, with this, people also are highly right now very much attracted to not necessarily the occult, like as in Wicca and RHP and that side of the occult. Many people are waking up to the LHP and more of the left-handed side of practices and dark sorcery and sorcery in general, and Satanism and Luciferianism and pretty much that spectrum. So I get a lot of questions in a day as to how do they start their practice and whatnot in this way of life. So that's kind of what we're going to discuss today. This video is going to talk about why and how and where do you go. I know we've discussed igniting a dark flame, black flame, a little bit on your altar setup, various things. The major things is honestly you need to know yourself. You need to love yourself. You need to meditate. That's like number one rule. It doesn't matter what you practice. Heck, you as a human being, you need to meditate. You need to know yourself. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're an occultist if you meditate. Every human being on the planet, regardless of what you believe, you should be meditating. You should be well grounded in yourself. So many people, I think, lose sight of this, and this is actually kind of a downfall in our society and kind of brings an imbalance to our own demise, to be honest with you, and why you see so much disruption in our society. It's not necessarily a perception of one's thought form. Many people always want to point their finger as to what, why, and how these things are happening in our lives. They want to blame, social, economic collapse, a race pandemic, health issues, society issues. When in doubt, obviously, everything always comes back to thyself. This is why it's so important to know thyself. Stay grounded. So many people also have a very huge tendency to over elaborate everything and get so caught up in drama with everything. And honestly, even as a practitioner, I must confess, if you honestly follow me on Facebook, yes, I kind of do. I get wrapped up in it as well because I'm a human being. I try not to. I honestly, God, try not to get wrapped up into the bullshit. But sometimes, because yes, I'm a human being, I stand for truth, absolute truth, and I take no bullshit from absolutely nobody. So sometimes, yeah, I admit, I give in. But sometimes I too have to step back and regroup my own self, just as anyone else does. These are facts. This is what it's so prominently important in one's practice to be grounded, to know thyself, so you don't wreck yourself in everything that you do, that you're seeking to do, because it will ultimately seep into your practice. One little thing will overrule and take over literally your entire life. And before you know it, then you're realizing what the hell happened. I was here, and before you know it, everything comes unraveled and you're totally decimated. And you'll think, ultimately, someone's cursed me, someone's hexed me, someone's done something to me. I see this continuously throughout contact with the public as an occultist daily. And in fact, when I often, as a professional, look into many cases of this, oftentimes, root case truth, it always comes back to that person, not someone else. Quite honestly, what a lot of people also don't take in time to realize, that many of the things that we do in our lives, we honest to God create thought forms. And what I mean by this, like, for instance, yes, this is a paint marker. This is an inanimate paint marker. You can use it for art. I personally use this in art, yes, and my sigils and stuff. However, it's this paint marker. Even though it's man-made, but there again, sigils and such are man-made too, by you or by me, but still, nonetheless, it's man-made. But when you are making an offering to it, you're saying ends, you're doing ritual with things. Everything has power. Words have power. Words have meaning. Songs have meaning. Songs have power. Incense everything has a vibration as well. Therefore, kind of like guilt by association, like when you get arrested and you may not have done a crime, but you're guilty just because you were in the area. Well, it's the same kind of thing with this. Just because it's in an area, it will pick up certain vibrations by what it's around. You know, honestly, as this rattles, it can honestly become a music instrument. It's vibrating. Again, think outside the box in everything. But all things also absorb energy. So technically, I want you to think about this. Entertain the idea. This isn't an absolute. This is just a perceptual point to get an idea across to help your practice. Anything. It can be a pencil. It can be a painting. It literally can be anything. Everything around you, everything that you use on your altar, inanimate objects, technically can become thought forms. Absolutely. Even your clothes can become thought forms. Just like people wearing sigil shirts, technically, yes, because it has the sigil of a given spirit or a daemon on it. You're there again, bring forth that out into the public. Therefore, you're bringing out awareness to that. So therefore, it has a power to it, has an energy, a vibration to it. There again, a thought form. But there again, if you're doing stuff with anything, it's going to absorb some energy. This is also how we as practitioners can use inanimate objects that belong to someone else and use them against them as well, such as, like in the hoodoo and the voodoo communities. Literally, if you research those communities, literally they use everything, like literally the police. They use everything for you and against you. Fact. They can use anything. Pieces of fabric, threads of fabric, anything. because it has come in contact with you. Because of why? It has an essence, a vibration of you on it. Thought form. See what I'm saying about that? Kind of getting off topic of what I originally made this video about, but I guess maybe this is for some reason, maybe for someone out there, why maybe they need to hear this. But quite honestly, back onto the topic, you know, as far as becoming a Luciferian, for some reason, so many people somehow think that when you become a Luciferian, you become rich. I have no idea who, what, and why this concept even came about. Because I'm not rich. I live comfortable, but I'm retired on a very fixed income. And that's okay. I'm quite happy with that. You know, I'm a veteran, but you know, I do a lot of community volunteer work. I help others. But I don't understand why people automatically think that we as Luciferians, that we are so well off and rich. I'm sure that there are some that are. And with that said, I'm sure that they are helping those around them as well, because most Luciferians are about helping the whole of the community, even though we do and are a lot about us. Which also brings up another fact. So many people think that Luciferianism is literally so self-centered. Like self-centered egotarianist, self-centered ego trips. Being able to liberate oneself from the man-made bullshit, if you will, is, again, a concept, a construct, a philosophy. Because in order to free oneself, you have to truly look within. You have to find yourself. You have to love yourself. You have to respect yourself. If you cannot do those things, honestly, then maybe you honestly do not deserve to be on this path. That may not be something that, you know, you at this point in time in your life, you're meant to be. I'm not saying ultimately you can't live this path, but from the most part, Luciferians, there's a general reason why you don't see them as 8, 9, 10-year-old children, unless obviously they're being brought up by, you know, mom and dad, which are in fact Luciferians, because they're obviously being instilled in from a very young age and brought up that way. But you don't see them literally like that from the get-go. Most part, you see them venture into Wicca and some other random other kind of esoteric occult knowledge before they ever come into the LHP. It's kind of, quite honestly, quite typical. And most people, quite honestly, they really handicap and hit LHP community in the kneecaps for a good chunk of their life and say all kinds of blasphemous stuff about it, and honestly don't understand it and dislike it for a good amount of time of their life, seeing how they're not about that. And then some point in their life, they realize that everything in the RHP side of the house is not really where it's at. And I'm not trying to spread hate or dissension amongst those. It's just there is no one-sided batteries. There's no one all positive universe or parallel universe anywhere in the cosmos. You have to walk in absolute balance. And honestly, you do not discover that until later on in your adult years. And that comes through living and experience. And that, honestly, is also through the LHP. And you discover that through Luciferianism. It is truly, in the West, quite honestly, the balanced path of the occult in the West. This is also why in the LHP, quite honestly, you see so much of tantric, esoteric Buddhism. A lot of things go hand in hand that way. It's nothing new. It's these practices have been around for thousands and thousands of years, and somehow a lot of people think that it's some random new thing, and it's not. It even predates the Bible. If you're looking for some really good sourced information on it, Michael W. Ford actually has some really good information out about it. It's really well sourced. But more so, my question is why do you feel so certain that Lucifer wants to work with you? And why I say that is because so many people think that they have to work with Lucifer. There is a plethora of different things and beings to work with, yet everyone seems to think they have to work with only one. And I get this all the time, that so many people want to get in contact and they seek me out, want me to do all the magic work and put them in contact with people or with Lucifer. And in fact, if you were truly called, this would happen, at least from my perspective, that you wouldn't have to go through a third or fourth person party to make this happen. If you were truly, truly called, then he would literally beckon to you and would literally be coming to you. You would know. You would literally know. You'd have physical, actual, undeniable, present proof. I don't know how else to say this. And so many people also make a big ordeal out of, like, they need to make this huge rite out of, hey, I want to work with such a deity, a Lucifer or a daemon or something. It can be as basic as basic as basic. This is another reason why I tend to be very primal, if not very shamanic, about most of my practices. Everyone wants to make their stuff super elaborate, have all these crazy degree systems to their philosophy, and I am bipolar the opposite. I want to be more like our ancestors and be like they were in the beginning. Sit there and just give a simple offering and just merely have first contact with them and have true gnosis one-on-one with them. It can literally be that way. It's your perspective. It is your path. It is your walk. It is your choice. So many people in this path, it's supposed to be liberating people. Most of all, it's supposed to be liberating you. You. Is that not why you came to this path? To be liberated. To be free of the bullshit. So why, sorry that's bugging me, so why in the world Would you place yourself into another system, under another person, another head cheese ball that's in charge you money for degrees and all this stuff, for something that all you need to do is develop patience, determination, self-preservation, and look within you. Yes, you. You were born with everything you absolutely need. It's inside you. All you have to do is take the time and look within you to discover you. Know you. Love you. Set yourself free. You hold the keys to your own self, your own freedom, and your own eternity. It's all within you. You want to meet Lucifer? You want to meet whoever it is you choose to seek? I ask you, all you have to do is look, knock, write their sigil, talk to them. Simple as that. As I am talking to this camera right now, all you have to do is be humble, be respectful, be yourself. Come with an open heart and open mind and talk to them. You do not need no fanciful prayers, fanciful anything. Just be yourself as you are. This is what everyone misses. Do you really think your money means anything to them? No. Absolutely not. If you really have doubts, take time. Find something on a travel when you go to a thrift store, and if something calls to you, dedicate it to them. Repaint it, redecorate it, and honor it to him or whoever. Set a special space aside in your house or your room to them. You don't have to dedicate hours and loathe hours and hours and hours of your day to this. It can just be minutes at a time. You have a hard time meditating? Start out with 1 minute. Just looking and focusing on your breath and focusing on your heartbeat. Learning what that feels like. Thinking and knowing what that feels like as you take your breath and your heartbeat, and knowing that Lucifer, you're breathing in Lucifer, and he's comforting your heart, and he's there with you, molding you, establishing his kingdom within you. And then as you exhale, you're taking all those internal hurts from your past and letting it go out. Same with grounding. When you're outside, go outside barefoot. Out on the lawn if that's all you have. Let your worries go out your soles, your feet, back into the earth. Let the earth absorb that, and then reabsorb the goodness and the life of the earth, the energy back in, so you have a good steady flow. Some people call it chi, some people call it prana. There's a multitude of names. You know, most of all, it's a life force. You can look at this as a multitude of different perceptions, perspectives. But ultimately, it is your path. your path. It's okay to read books. It's okay to ask questions. This is what we are here for at Dark Sorcery. Please ask us. This is what we enjoy as professionals. We want to see you guys grow as our viewers and our subscribers. We want you guys to be able to adapt and overcome and grow. It's not about us as practitioners to glow in clouds and show you what I can do to whatever to impress you. At least not my platform. My platform is, I literally want to change your perspective and your mindset to help you literally adapt and overcome and help you grow and perform better as a practitioner at home, in your business place, as a husband, as a wife, as a child, whatever that may be, whatever that may entail. I simply just want you to grow. I want you to become better and be fruitful in your endeavors. So this is also another reason why I come to you with mainly perceptions and different approaches and outlooks, different concepts, because I want you to look outside the box. So many people are all about putting us into boxes and separating us in these boxes and dividing us. This is, to me, is what's wrong with this society. It's why we are so divided, because we're so compartmentalized. I want us all to be free. Once we're all free and out of the box, per se, then we might be able to flow and truly unite. Then we might be able to actually illuminate for once and actually grow as full-on one whole. As I always say too, we always, if you're not flowing, you're surely constipated. Because ultimately, if you're constipated, you're not flowing, and you're definitely full of shit. It's facts. Absolute facts. But ultimately, I think so many people are so ready to make that step, but they don't, because for some reason, they give away their power. And that's another major issue in today's society. We put forth too much of our power into others, thinking, or actually more or less not thinking, but seeking validation in others. Why do we make some of the posts we do? Because why? We seek validation, we seek approval from others. What do they think of X, Y, and Z? You know, granted, some of us make posts and truly don't care. We just want to vent or trying to shed truth or knowledge. I understand this as well. But some people truly do post things via social media truly and only for attention. And they really ultimately are out there seeking for the comments that they're just waiting to get back. And ultimately, if that's one of you, please rethink that as well. That is also another sign that things are not right within your heart. Oh yeah, your heart. Your heart's not your head, but in your mind. Because honestly, you need to step back. Love yourself first. Never forsake your first true love. That's not a Christian thing. It's not a religious thing. That's a common sense thing for everyone. Never forsake your first true love. That is you. You have to love yourself. That should be the most primal essence to being a human being. Love thyself. Number 2, know thyself. And number 3, self-preservation. To take care of yourself. Quit buying into approval of someone else. Granted, if your doctor tells you, hey, you have some health issues, then you might want to listen. That's a fact. But still, you should be able to do those things and take care of yourself. You know, in previous videos, I discussed that our bodies are, in many ways and aspects, a temple, a portable temple. Many of you will always talk about astral temples and astral working tools and astral this and astral that. Why not, instead of worrying about all that, worry about the portable altar? You know what that is? That's you. Yeah, you. Your working wand? That's these. Or does anyone ever think like that? Like, really? We are a temple. These are tools. These are working tools. That's what they certainly were to our ancestors before they were ever given the knowledge in which to create the inanimate objects that we use today as actual tools to empower them. Kind of interesting how some of the things we use to empower the tools, we have within us. Anyone ever think of this? Again, perceptions. As above, so below, as within, so without. The tool is you. Everything is in you. Absolutely everything. What is a sorcerer's most powerful tool? It is what? His intuition. It's not the tool. It's not the herb. It's none of that. It's his intuition and intention. Actually, it'd probably be his intention is more important than anything. And then secondly, his intuition. Be able to have the sight into the matters. Intent to all things is numero uno. Numero uno. This is what people have lost. Absolutely have lost. We spend so much money on rocks and sticks and staffs and knives and cloaks and everything, when in reality it all comes down to looking within, finding oneself, and your intent. So I ask you today, spend some time looking within you, get to know you. Are you going to be happy with yourself when you find you? You might want to take some notes. Check in with yourself. Learn your intent. Never forsake your first love, which is you. And once you master your intent, then your practice will grow and multiply. Then you will be amazed in yourself just what you will honestly be able to truly do. Because when you set your mind to something, it will literally manifest. You won't doubt no more because you will know yourself. You'll love yourself, and you'll have the intent, the focus to be able to back up everything else, to bring it to full fruition and manifestation. This is why ultimately so many sorcerers, magicians, occultists cannot do all things because they lack one of those tools within their own selves. This is why the LHP and being a Luciferian is so liberating, because you have to do honestly everything yourself and looking within yourself, and also part of the whole task of apotheosis and the whole aspect of I want to say seeking godhood through oneself. But in a lot of ways, I personally hate that too, because so many people take that and they abuse that. This is why I say that. Because and it is liberating to say that you are in fact becoming a god. Even in the Bible, Psalm 87:9, it says you are as gods as well. However, with that said, excuse me, get a drink. With that said, so many people use that as a crutch, and I do say crutch because they take it, well, I'm a god. So if I'm a god, that gives me free reign to blast and become a bully to other people, like the Christians' God has done to everyone else. And this, again, is a toxic behavior. I have not really seen this in the Luciferian community. However, I have greatly seen this in the satanic community. And I'm not a huge fan of it. And I'm not here to say you're condemned and wrong and all that either. And I'm not here to even argue with you, because I don't give a fuck. But it is my perception, and that's okay. And if your perception is different, that's okay too. But yeah, I think it's wrong, because ultimately, if we are also to love, and it's love is the whole of the law, under and do as thou wilt, and you're saying you're a god and yet you're a fucking asshat bully to everyone, how is that now love? So it's kind of condescending, and I just don't understand. It just doesn't make sense at all. Now, however, I don't tolerate asshats, and I really do believe, I'm nice to everyone. I really go out of my way to be a very nice, loving, genuine guy. Well, if you come at me with sideways bullshit, I will fucking give it to you. This is how I am. But I think everyone on LHP is like that. But anyways, I don't subscribe to just because you're a god or have a concept of that you're a god gives you full right to just be a fucking anal asshat. That is wrong. if anything, you should be more, I don't want to sit there and say lovey-dovey either, because that's not right either. I don't like the word forgiving, because everyone, I don't know. I'll save that for another time. Whatever, my brain's going blank. And this is already a 40-minute video. But anyways, I'm certainly glad you guys have taken your time in your day to spend some time watching this video. And if you do have any comments or questions about anything, or have any concerns or suggestions for future videos, please leave it in the comment box. Or if there's anything as a professional you want to hit us up, anyone on Dark Sorcery, please leave it in the comment box as well. Or you can go to our actual information part on Dark Sorcery, and it has all of our contact information, where to find us, and hit us up. A lot of our business aspects of us depend on which one of us you decide to hit up. A lot of us don't engage on YouTube. We actually have our own private accounts, and you can hit us up that way, or by direct email, or on Facebook Messenger. All of us are on there as well. But anyways, hope you have a blessed, wonderful day, and have a wonderful week. And I'm glad you spent some time here with us. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and see you again on Dark Sorcery. And Uriel Zahriel here. See you next time as we help to expand your gnosis and knowledge, and changing your perspectives into a new reality. And you have a blessed day, beasties.